What up, you lab rats? This is episode number 59, and today we're talking about the second part, chapter 2 of Primal Branding, The Creed. Stay tuned. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Lab Rat Dailies, the in-between show of the main show on the Get in the Lab podcast with Kevin and I, talking about building a business together. Every day here on the Lab Rat Dailies, I have a theme. Today's theme on Sunday is Cozy Sunday. Cozy Sunday I reserve for reading for books, so I can share with you guys all the lessons that I learned from these books. This one's a really good one. We were discussing Primal Branding by Patrick Hanlon. Last week we talked about the first chapter, which was, remind me again, what was the first one? This is bad. I should know this. It's a slow start. I just came back from the pool and I'm way too relaxed. Ah, yes. Duh. The first part we talked about was the creation story, your origin story, where you come from. Be sure to check that one out. I thought it was a good one. All right. So I don't know if these Sunday episodes are getting to you guys. I'm trying to figure out what are the best days to kind of disseminate the information, but this is a daily podcast, so we're daily. So just tune in daily, okay? So you get the goods. So today, like I said, we're talking about the Creed, and also, like I said, I just came back from the pool, and it was fabulous, because for some reason, it's summer now. Okay, so I'm sorry if you guys are still experiencing winter weather. I think we're all coming out of the winter blues, especially for East Coast, but here on the West Coast, we really only have, like, 2 days of winter. I mean, really. And then the rest is like summer, fall, and spring. So sorry, but that's what happens over here. So it's summer now. And we decided to go to the pool. That was really nice. Got to relax a little bit. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I must now record some episodes. That's what happens when the hustle gets to you. So anyway, let's get down to the Creed, because we want to keep these episodes to under 15 minutes, right? Okay, so the Creed. Right away, what does that kind of say to you? It's kind of like the beliefs, right, that Hanlon talks about. It's what you believe in. It's your mission statement. It's the just do it of Nike, right? It's the think different from Apple. And no matter what your creed, it speaks to the who and the why you are doing what you're doing. And it's essentially the backbone of you and why you're here and why you're putting out this content and what you stand for and what you think other people should believe in, right? For us over here on Getting the Lab and the Lab Rat Dailies and being a lab rat, is going from within, creating from within, seeing where you need to change, having that kind of meta about yourself so that you can, adjust and experiment and act and execute accordingly. And I'm a big proponent of that. That's our creed over here on the Lab Rat Dailies. And if you are a lab rat, I think you should know that by now. So let's get into the weeds of this. Let's go ahead and read some really cool passages that I earmarked for you guys. And nice breeze. Okay, so an interesting thing that he talks about in the Creed is that not all companies are able to stick to it because their founder, for example, Steve Jobs, right? When he passed, Apple had a little kind of weird transition period where they were trying to figure out, okay, now that our visionary is gone, how are we going to keep his legacy going? And the Creed is something that you really want to establish in your brand, because after you're gone, and, depending on your goals and whatnot, you probably want to enact some sort of legacy within your brand. And you do that by having certain aspects incorporated into your brand. I hope this wind is not distracting. So even though, Jobs left Apple untimely, they were able to kind of figure it out and still be innovative. They tried to keep alive everything that they could that he put forward in their brand, which was this innovation to think differently, right? To think outside the box and to do things better than anybody else was doing them, right? So with the times and with the change of times, you have to kind of plan to be enduring. And he talks about a sort of kind of case study with this golfing legend Arnold Palmer. And his publicist or his branding dude was saying, instead of focusing on the fact that Palmer wins a lot of stuff, which could be taken away with just, the next tournament right after, he focused on an aspect of being successful, right? And so that's perfect. That's a perfect message for you guys, for you lab rats. Let me close this. Now it's hot. Okay, so he says to focus on being successful versus winning, right? So to kind of make the transition from winning all the time to a position of being successful. Being successful, guys, is a daily practice. It's not just I won one tournament once and now everybody will remember me. It's actually what you do on a day-to-day basis and how you execute in your daily lives and how you affect other people on a daily basis that creates your legacy, and that creates this word success around you. And so that is something that I want you guys to really take away from this chapter of the Creed, is that, no matter what your creed is behind your brand, it's something that initiates and kind of develops a sort of legacy around you and your brand. That's something really, really important, because after you're gone, despite the fact if you were ever going to run a business or not, you want to leave behind a legacy that says, so-and-so, Lab Rat, was an awesome person. They always gave back. They were always trying to be of service. They were always genuine. They always gave from their heart. All this good shit that people want, that you want people to say about you when you're gone. And that's the same kind of feeling and energy and vibe that I want you to take within your creed, within your brand. That's very important. And that kind of stood out to me amongst all this. And another thing that I wanted to point out, that, while companies do this, they create a creed, kind of mission statement, which is something that I've done for us over here on the Lab Rat, for the Lab Rats, which is to create better content, more specifically to create content with heart, right? And so I can't always be 100% on my game all the time. I want to point out an episode where I co-hosted with Dre and I was not on my game. I didn't feel like I gave 110% that day. However, I want to. And he pointed that out, that companies should put forth a creed that says something like that, which means it's not only, what they believe in, but it's what they strive to be all the time, even though they are not, right? So it's a kind of visionary kind of thing where you see yourself as this, quote unquote successful person. It's not only being it, but it's also playing the part and imagining it and envisioning it, right? So a couple passages in here. The creed is what you want people to believe. Like all men are created equal, so are women. It's a fundamental statement about humankind that has driven the beliefs of the United States of America and the civil rights movement and has pervasive effects throughout the world. Semper Fi is another example. Once you have the creed that defines who you are and why you exist, it must be integrated with the other elements of the primal code to create a holistic system of belief, right? We're coming back into why successful brands are successful in the first place, is because it created a belief system that people wanted to belong to. And belonging to something also includes a set of beliefs, like religion, right? So that was it, guys. Pretty short and simple. I think that pretty much explains the creed. We're keeping it under 10 minutes, which is perfect. That's good because it's freaking hot. And I don't know. I want to hear from you guys. What is your creed? I'd love to hear it in the comments. Here, it's creating content with heart, right? Creating better content, helping you, content creators, create better content. That's a little jumbled. Clean it up. Who can clean that up? Okay, so good things, guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode here on Cozy Sunday. We're going to keep trucking along this book. We've got a total of 7 sort of aspects, puzzle pieces, right, that fit into primal branding and what makes a successful brand. And I'm really excited. As I keep reading this, little things kind of pop up to me, and I've been changing them ever so slightly with Get in the Lab so that I can resonate more with the people that, dig the message. So branding is not about brainwashing, even though brainwashing is very much kind of in line with all of these these facts here, but always underneath it all, you have an intent of service and an intent to help other people. So I hope that I can impart that upon you guys after this episode. And I just redid my clean media site, and I think I'm pretty proud of it. It went through a very quick little makeover, but it's got a lot more focus now. And if you want to learn a little bit more about how you guys can utilize your personal brand right now, I have a free ebook that I'm giving away. You can download it right away at this link. So you can kind of see where I'm coming from, and I'm putting a lot of these things that I've read here in Primal Branding that I'm slowly disseminating to you here on Cozy Sunday. But I put a lot of that stuff into actual practice, and 10 ways that you can kind of get started with your personal brand and how you're going to differentiate yourselves throughout the pack of content creators. Now, it's written for wedding photographers, so it has that context, but it's incredibly powerful for the content creator because, whether you're shooting a wedding or you're writing a blog post, the concepts still apply. All right. So good things, guys. I want to remind you again about the charity water campaign that's going on. It's too damn easy to go get this water. All right. So give a little. It doesn't matter how much you give. 100% of what you give goes to these families in Africa that need it to build safe water wells for the families out there. So good things, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Once again, my name is Megan, reminding you to get in the lab. We'll see you next time. Peace out.